Hi, this is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and today we are talking about Chiron in retrograde in the sign of Aries. I guarantee most people have never even heard of Chiron. I haven't heard about him until a couple of years ago, and then I did some really great investigative energy of just kind of like, well, what is he all about? Tell me all about his energy, because I hadn't really heard about him, but I guarantee you're going to hear about him. I'm going to explain it to you, so hopefully you understand how much Chiron is really going to be affecting us. So Chiron is in our solar system, way out there from the sun, kind of between Saturn and Uranus. So he's way out there. And he has kind of an erratic orbit. So he's kind of, because he's not fully formed, he kind of moves on all axes at times. But it is considered an asteroid. It is kind of really now considered a minor planet, and it really takes the name from Centaur, who is very wise and very just and a natural healer. Kind of the story, I'll go into that in a little bit more of a different video, but kind of Chiron in the sign of Aries. Chiron stays in each zodiac sign for about 8 years. Because he's so far out there. Chiron actually entered the sign of Aries February 18th of 2019, and he will kind of be transitioning between adjacent houses of Taurus on February 15th, 14th of 2027. But I will tell you, Chiron in Aries energy is all about feeling supported, finding the strength and the confidence, really the energy to kind of rise up and face what's right in front of us. So many times, like, we run and hide, or we kind of like, I don't want to hear that diagnosis or anything else, but it's kind of like the wounded healer becomes stronger when it heals. And so that's kind of like the best energy. When we face it, we can actually remove a lot of that energy, a lot of that stuck old energy, and kind of moved into a new healed state. Is amazing energy. Let's see, when we come face to face with our wounds and are healed, kind of like the things that we don't really want to heal, but we actually heal them, it's like, boom, now we've let go of this energy, and we're going to be facing this in this headstrong, kind of crazy energy of Aries. Chiron in Aries is all about, think about the wounds and the life lessons that you've learned. So many times people kind of hang on to the wounds, like, this happened to me and that happened to me and she said this and he said that and whatever it is, but they're not really moving into the new healed state. When someone says kind of like, not the whole story of like, I learned this a long time ago, it's kind of usually meaning like there was a dramatic situation, I let go of it, I've healed it, and I've moved on. When they're telling you the whole story, it's kind of like they're still stuck in it. So that is not a good energy at all. So this is kind of like, yes, let's heal this, let's move forward. When our wounded healer moves through kind of our sign of our aggressive ram, let's just keep going forward, let's keep ramming this until we get this. It's kind of torn between like wanting to kind of like move forward, but it's one of those, like, sometimes it moves forward in such jolts that it kind of like disturbs everybody else. It's like, here we go again, here we go, kind of pushing that energy. Chiron in Aries really encourages us to go forward, like boldly, kind of like pushing our energy forward out there and kind of setting the tone for healing things in the future. Usually when we try to hide old things, old wounds, it never really works that well, but it's one of those, it kind of puts us under so much pressure to kind of like, now we feel like we have to do something. Now we feel like we have to kind of bring that up. No. Let's just be grateful of this new healing energy that's coming in and kind of move forward in all of this. One of the things that is really great about this Aries energy that Chiron is in, it's ruled by Mars. So that can give us like this energy of like pushing through all of it, kind of like just like we're just gonna push through all of it like that ram. We're just gonna get through all of this really hard stuff. Whether I will tell you, a lot of times, like, people will get angry or kind of like, I don't want to deal with this trauma anymore. And a lot of times it's kind of bringing up like old heartbreaks or old trauma for us. And this can also kind of be a call to our government as well, kind of like any government, state government, local government, city governments, town governments, all the way into the United States and several other countries. It's one of those, this is letting our injustices happen. And it's one of those, like, you've let all of this injustice happen in the past, and now we're going to stand up for ourselves. Now we're going to bring this to a new healed state. Now we're going to get kind of like everything cleared out, so we are not holding on to that old stuff. It's one of those, the anger is kind of always a response to pain. And a lot of times when we allow that pain to stay and not give it a voice, it stays for a long period of time. When we give it a voice of this happened and this is what all that happened behind it, it's one of those, like, it can be a great push forward. It can be a great energy forward. Chiron's entrance into Aries will really teach us how to let go of anger, dealing with it, and kind of before it burns it out of control. It's kind of like, let's just let all of that anger go until it really burns us up. A lot of times when we're hanging on to that old anger, it will be kind of something overwhelming. So kind of let's get a little bit different perspective of this. Is Chiron has been in the sign as Aries a couple of times. So let's talk about this. Chiron entered Aries, like I said, in 2018, and kind of went back and forth between that and Pisces for a while. And it's one of those, now we're kind of settling into this new era of Chiron in the sign of Aries. Like I said, it's going to be there for quite a while. And this is really kind of like calling us to action. When we first found out about Chiron back in 1977, it was in the sign of Aries at the time. And it had been in Aries from 1968 to 1977. And it's one of those, before that, it was in the sign of Aries from 1918 to 1927. So what can we expect from Chiron moving forward? This is a kind of like a fire sign. So it's really going to be pushing some hot energy of kind of like being impatient, kind of like, let's just get it healed now. Let's just go for it. And I will guarantee you kind of the energy that we were feeling kind of like in that 68 time frame. It's one of those, we had let's see, the assassination of Martin Luther King. We had kind of like the really highlighting like racism and oppression and brutality in the United States. And it kind of really, before that, it entered Aries, and it was in 1918, and we had the Spanish flu, and a lot of people have seen those videos, are old pictures now of people walking around with the mask way back then. It's kind of like an interesting, like, but I guarantee you there were so many millions of people were killed from the Spanish flu. Chiron's time in Aries can hit us really hard, and really in that 1918 time frame, it really kind of brought in this lost generation, because so many people died. There was really kind of like a missing generation, kind of like, where did it go? A lot of people died so fast that it's kind of like, where did all these people go? Chiron in Aries provides us a really amazing opportunity to start the healing process and taking action in our own healed state. It can just be a short-term action, or it can be a long-term action. Either way, it's going to be pushing the energy. But it's one of those, also Chiron really brings up this instinct in all of us to kind of like the survival, kind of that sort of thing. And I've seen this in so many people. So many videos out there are kind of like how to make this, how to, put this healing energy or this salve or this ointment or this tincture or whatever else, kind of like bringing up that kind of like that old way of healing that we used to have thousands of years or hundreds of years ago. And we've kind of like lost our way in that. But it's one of those, like, all about like getting back to that process of like survival. How do we survive? How do we grow our own fruits and vegetables? All that kind of stuff. So that is an amazing way of kind of getting back to our roots, kind of holding on to that energy. It can be a really tough time for us to tackle some big challenges, but I guarantee you, just like we've had so far, it's one of those, we have had this overwhelming like civil rights movements, feminist movements, kind of like energy moving forward. And even they've gone back all the way to the signing of the Declaration, and Chiron was in the sign of Aries. So that's going to be really bringing up this like amazing energy for us, this amazing like, yes, let's heal it, let's move forward, and kind of bring everything back into balance. I will tell you a couple of the wars, like, of course, in 1918, we had World War I. In 1968, we had the Vietnam War, and it's one of those. So Chiron in Aries really brings in a lot of changing energy, a lot of we're ready to make some changes. We're ready to kind of change the world around us and bring in some healing energy big time, because it's one of those, we've kind of like let this kind of simmer or this anger kind of hold on for a long period of time. It's like now we're ready to kind of bring this in to this energy. And there's always a shift also at the same time of kind of like the me energy kind of into the we energy. Like it before, it was always me, my family, my, you know what I'm saying, my little group, and kind of, and every time we've done that, it's kind of like moved us more into like the global, looking at we as a planet, not just us as a state of Texas or United States or whatever else, kind of like opening it up. And so it's one of those, if you look at it worldwide, you'll see a lot of that in a lot of different areas during that same time frame. So I think that's kind of like, wow, a really interesting energy. Aries has a reputation of being a little self-involved and kind of really a natural leader, wanting to bring us to that new healed energy, kind of like bringing up that new energy over and over again, because it's really important for us to move through that energy, for Chiron's energy to allow us to kind of bring this unique opportunity to kind of process healing, bring in new reactions, kind of upgrade what we've done, kind of make some changes, and not just change ourselves, our little part of the world. It's one of those, let's change everything. That's kind of the amazing part of Chiron's energy. So let's do some angel cards and get us a little bit deeper insight into all things Chiron in retrograde in the sign of Aries. I've got one popping out right here. Finally, it popped out. Here we go. This is trust. Trust our energy is meant to make those changes. Anything that you've been avoiding, any of the anger, all that kind of stuff that's bringing up pain so you can deal with it and work through it. It's one of those, anybody who's had therapy or anything like that, kind of like rehab or kind of like physical therapy, no, like you have to go through the pain to get to the new healed part. And that's what we're kind of moving through in this. This is soulmate energy. This is one of those, you are going to find people that are on your side that have the same type of energy as we move in from the me energy to the we energy. You're going to find people that you thought were never going to be on your side, like, oh, wow, yeah, they're on my side. They're going to be on your side, and they are going to be pushing some amazing energy. You have like 3 cards in a row popped out. So let's go with divine timing. Divine timing, this is a great one to kind of like bring up right now, because this happens every so many years, and it's bringing it up so we can heal it, so we can move forward, not so we can stay stuck in this energy, not so we can kind of say, no, this is all about healing energy and moving forward, and not just healing one person or one side. It's moving energy everywhere, moving energy into some amazing healed spots. Next, let's go into romance. It's one of those, if we are hiding something from ourselves, we really can't be in a true romance with ourselves or anybody else or even with the world. It's one of those, if we're hiding something, we're always kind of like, we want to hide this instead of being in love. And this is a great time to push that love energy, because love heals everything. Children, I guarantee the children that are great being raised right now in this Chiron in Aries energy is really amplifying this. They are trying to get their voices heard more than anything else, even if they're maybe going about it the wrong way. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. It's one of those, but they're trying to get their voice heard. They're trying to make their own healed state, kind of get that voice out there. This is balance. Everybody's trying to find that balance of where do we stop with this healing part. We are still in this retrograde for a long period of time. We still have a long time of Chiron in the sign of Aries. So this is not coming to a close anytime soon. This is bringing us to a new healed state, not only for us, but for our world as well. miracles. There are miracles that happen every day with Chiron in retrograde in the sign of Aries. This is all about like bringing out things so we can find our new healed state. When people are healing, there are miracles in everything that's happening around us. Yes, there are bad things that happen. There are a lot of people that passed, all of that. I'm not saying anything with that. I'm just saying like there's allowing to be miracles. I have seen them in people like reaching out from their own healed state to heal somebody else, stepping out of their comfort zone to step into someone else's life to bring in healing and comfort and kindness. That's the miracles that we can see every day, day in and day out. I thank you so much for joining me today, and I know that we'll be talking again soon.